Lewis's next fight is going to be against, help me out, fill in the blank, where you go with that. And I feel like, right, accurate or not, I feel like I could walk into the UFC and pitch in any department. Hey, so-and-so called in sick today. Chael, have a seat over here. Hey, Chael, will you go over there? Hey, Chael, could you give a hand here? And I feel that I could be useful in any department, any way that you want to do it. Promotion, production, social media, sponsorship. I mean, you go right down the list, things that you wouldn't even think of, and I feel that I could kick in. Except with matchmaking. Matchmaking is a very underappreciated art. It truly is. Back from the way that Joe Silva's mind worked, who was the first to call and explain why these matches would make sense. Like, there's an art. And what do you do with Derrick Lewis? So, Derrick's awesome. You guys love him. He's sold out arenas. He's moving up in the rankings. He's now at that age where when he beats somebody up, it's impressive. When he beats up a younger guy, which by the numbers is never going to happen, is more impressive. When he knocks out a younger guy, like there's things that he's doing that adds to the wow. It starts to be inspirational. And I'm only sharing for you, like, there's somewhere very special for Derrick. I want him to fight Tom. Now, I want him to fight Tom because I believe it is an error to have Ciryl and Tom fight. But my point being, that would probably prove that I'm not a very good matchmaker. Right? If I was going to take a Derrick Lewis because he has his performance over Teixeira, which ends up in a TKO stoppage, even though it was intended to be halted to discipline a fence grab. Like, everything gets weird really fast, but we forget pretty quickly. You guys forget pretty quickly. I mean, the crowd that was there and was on their feet cheering for a fight that got ruled a TKO, but it was intended to be stopped to discipline a fence grab. And not for nothing, that took you guys a little less than a second to forget. So, of course, I could expect that you're going to forget that Ciryl lost to Volkov. Sherdog.com says he won. Good enough for you guys, I think. So what would you do with Derrick? And one of the reasons you bring in Teixeira in the very first place is it's not just a young guy or a guy to pass the torch, or a guy to bump Derrick out of the way, which is the way the business goes. It's not just that. Yes, that is all factored in to a degree. But he already fought everyone. Derrick's fought them all. And you can do rematches when they're contenders. You don't rematch a fight that doesn't matter. Right? I mean, if you got two contenders and they found their way back to each other to get to a championship fight, if it's not going to lead to a championship fight or on a very close road to, you don't do rematches. So, for the fourth time, what do you do with Derrick Lewis? I would just like to hear. I don't know that there's a wrong answer. I believe Derrick Lewis to be today's Tank Abbott. Now, when I call a fighter a Tank Abbott, I mean it is a very big compliment, and I've only done it twice. Now with Derrick Lewis, I also had put in Tai Tuivasa into that category. But it's very high praise. It's someone that's going to go out and fight. It's somebody that is not scared to fight. It's somebody that, regardless of anything, is going to show up to the match that they said they're going to show up to. And then they're going to go like hell. And by the way, if it works, they're going to look really good. Then they're going to grab the microphone and entertain you on the way out. And you're going to go sit down on your YouTube channel and ask, what do you do next for him? When can we get him back in there? We don't care if it's all the way for a title. We don't care if it's on a fight night. We just want it to happen again. We want to know who's next. And it's one of those situations like Derrick has been up against it. When Derrick was in Salt Lake and he fought out his contract, it was against my guy. Very, very personal friend, Payzone. And when Payzone did the fight, there wasn't anything on it. Like, Payzone and Derrick didn't have beef, for example. There wasn't anything on it. But the same thing is said for what happened on Saturday. Teixeira and Derrick, there's nothing on it. There's nothing on it at all. And they sold out an arena. There's nothing on it at all. And they were on the worldwide leader. There's nothing on it. And it was a main event. I mean, what would, and we're still talking about to this day. The winner of a fight card, guys, it is scientific. There is a winner. When you say, whose stock went up? It's not an opinion. You can prove it. Whoever, after the fight, is talked about the most, that's the winner. That's whose stock went up the most. We're still talking about Derrick. You're not talking about anybody else on that card. You're just talking about Derrick. And I'm only saying for you, we sold out. Worldwide leader. Main event. And there was nothing on it. What would happen if we put something on it? What would happen if we brought Derrick in against a guy that Derrick's got some level of heat with? I'm only suggesting for you, like, Derrick Lewis is a star now. He's a top 3 must-see interview now. What would happen if we spent the time and we matched him up appropriately and we put him in there with the right opponent? I mean, I don't believe these guys have a lot of fights. I get one wrong. I look bad. But I'm going to throw it at you in a way because I don't believe that Derrick has ever fought Sergey Pavlich. And I pulled the rankings up. I got the rankings here. I'm kind of staring at them. And when I see that Pavlich fight, as long as I'm right and those guys didn't match up, there's a little piece of me where... But I would cheer for you. I would like to see Derrick fight one of those higher ranked guys, and not because we're on a road back to a world championship. But there's a number of the guys that are ranked that are interesting. And by the way, they're not on a road to a championship either. So just consider it. Like, how far could you go with Derrick Lewis? What kind of business could you do with Derrick? If we showed him the respect that we showed him when he was younger and that we showed the younger fighters, if we showed him that respect and we had a fight that was against somebody for reasons that mattered. It's just a question. But what do you do with Derrick Lewis?